How can I play? No, I gave my life to rock and roll. Here I go. Mama, baby, please, yeah, she got down on her knees. Said you're burning that Mississippi sun. But I'm the only one that's standing here, so mama, don't you have no fear. I'll be the last, for I've already won. Here I go.
Good afternoon, my beautiful kind family. Um, First, I have to apologize to you for this morning, as I had a really rough day yesterday and a really rough night last night. And I'm not going to get into it too much. I kind of want to see what people are saying here before I get into this. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna pull any punches, man. Um, down the rabbit hole. Take me down. I miss playing. And 3 years of my fucking life has been wasted on this motherfucker. I'm glad it's just over 9 minutes. I'm sorry, but thank you, Bandanarama. I'm done. I'm done. I want to apologize to the Gonzalezes, the Mortensons, the Cronodals, the Chapins. I want to apologize to everybody I've ever accused, as in JD, as in JS, as in everybody. I'm done. I do believe with all my heart that this guy went in there and he did this. He's admitted to it. He didn't change his plea. There's not going to be anything else. What's coming up, if he does do an appeal, it's just a formality at this point. It's a different kind of a appeal than if he went through the appeal process. It's totally different. Exactly, Joey. Game over. I have a hard time with it, Bandana. And I know, yes, we're all hurt. It's just sickening, but I swear there's so much more to this. There is more to this case. There is more to this case. But it has to come from Brian. It has to come from Brian. And yes, the girls have to. I don't get the 8 hours, but you know what? I wasn't all fucked up that night. I've been so fucked up, people, that I haven't known what the hell I was doing. And we know there were some big parties that night. We know that these frats wear masks sometimes, so they might have thought it was a frat dude. It could have been many different things, even though they were texting saying, I'm scared, kind of. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I feel like a fucking idiot. I feel like a fucking idiot over these past 3 fucking years where I could have been playing goddamn music. Thank you, Rory, for coming in. Love you, brother. And I know Rory has felt this way for a while. And you want to know why he quit the channel? Well, I'm sure that's a pretty big reason. Randy, let's get a band together, brother. I'm going to be getting hold of some people to get a band going, and that's all there is to it. If I do have Friday night, I have Andrew Myers on, attorney, and I have a feeling that he's going to be siding with me, maybe, on this. He's a very smart man. Right, Randy? Moonlight, yeah, I probably will be. I am eyeing a case right now. That's been a case for a long time. It's a cold case. But they're getting closer and they're getting closer. And there is a series going on about it right now. And it's something that affects Minnesota. And but it's national, if not international, case. And I think my producer will be happy too. I haven't had a chance to really talk to her on the phone much. Yeah. Thank you, Bandanarama. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I might take a little time off because I'm really upset. I'm upset about a few things. Yes, Rory. I love you, Rory. I love you like a brother, and you know that, man. Went through a lot of tough times with this case. You were the smart one. Got out of it. Amanda thinks Olivia came off psychotic. I think she came off as very fucking angry. Very fucking angry. And I don't even blame her. I don't know if Bethany was there. Was she? I know. What's her name? Emily Lalonde read her thing. Tot Waffle's busy scrubbing her carpets. She's supposed to be over here though, but same here, Glowy. And there was so much about this case. Thank you, Rabbit. There was so much about this case that you know what pisses me off is who in the hell, and I can probably actually name them. Oh, who put the audio in Linda Lane? Who put the overlays of shit going on and all that crap? And there's only one person I can think of that was in charge of that. And that was the person that got the video and talked Kane into giving the video. And then they got the video and they fucked with it. And that's why they wouldn't have used it in court. Because it had been tampered with. And that's a good opinion, Amanda. I respect it. I just don't think it's there. I really don't. He, if you watch his body language, if it was a psyop and this guy was normal, he would have had tears. He had nothing. He had nothing but a cold, blank stare. Yeah, he gave a statement. Oh no, that was Sarah. That was Obsidian, not Ghost. Sarah is another singer from Obsidian. Another really good singer. Yeah, and that could be too. He could have been drugged out. But you know what? We'll never know unless he opens his mouth. What surprised me is that the judge talked about Kohlberger gonna probably make millions writing a book. You know what? He could have stopped that. He could have said all proceeds go to the families. And I actually expect that to come out. There's going to be some kind of order where this motherfucker can't make no damn money on a book. And that will shut him right up. I don't know if I want to hear from him. I love you too, Moonflower. Animals or angels? Great question. What'd she ask? Animals or angels? Wait a second. Okay. That's a great question. I think with the data that he had, that's the way it looked, because what he said was, with the data I have, everything points to Brian being exculpatory to Brian. But I'll bet you money he got the rest of the data. And he reserved the right to change his mind. And I'll bet you money he changed his mind. And I'll bet you money that's why Ann Taylor said, you got to plead guilty. We got to do a deal so you don't go on the death penalty. And that's when Brian probably had to admit his guilt to Ann Taylor, is what I'm thinking. He wouldn't have admitted his guilt until he was pushed in a fucking corner. Are you talking about, the band? Yeah, no, I'm off to the right. Yep, the one with the hat. Off to the left was our bass player, TK. He doesn't live in this area anymore. He lives down in Minneapolis. Actually, yes, Judge Hippler did suck through the thing, but you know what? The man has feelings too, and he showed that today. No Chapin's comment. They said they weren't gonna, that they're just moving on, which I find really strange. God, if it would have been my son's case, I would have got up there. I would have had to say something. So I did find that a little weird. Hi, Coco. But yeah, it's over and done. Like I said, I have that Friday night. I have Attorney Andrew Myers on, and I'm sure we'll talk about some stuff. And but I think he's probably going to agree on the guilt part. He didn't stick his neck out quite like I did, or Rory did, or all these creators who I haven't looked at their stuff yet. And I'm sure there's going to be some that are going to come up with wild concoction stories. I'm not falling for it anymore. I'm done. I've heard enough concocted stories and wild beliefs, and the bottom line is this man looked at the judge and said, guilty for 5 times. I am guilty. Yes, he admitted guilt to every single one of them. He did change his plea, which I expected. The man is guilty. Did he have help? He could have. But you know what? The more I think about it, I don't think so. Maddie was passed out. Ethan, we found out, was passed out. The only one fighting was Xana and Kaylee. And I'll tell you what, if Kaylee would have known what was going on, I agree with Olivia. She would have kicked his fucking ass. But I think by the time she realized what was going on, it's too late. Tonka thinks there's someone walking free. And I could be wrong. There could be somebody else involved. But you know what, Tonka, we'll never know. Because I don't think Kohlberger is ever going to say a damn word. And I believe if there was somebody else involved, it was probably where he stopped for. And Rory is the one that fucking found this out. It wasn't Ombre. It wasn't Paul. It was Rory a long time ago figured out that there was 7 minutes missing right by Kohlberger's apartment, or right by Kopaka's apartment. And 7 minutes on the way back, right by Kopaka's apartment. And that was Rory. I was on his panel the night that he ran that. Gemini still thinks he's innocent. I know there's going to be a bunch of you that still think he's innocent, and I love you, and I respect your opinions. But you know what? I've spent almost 3 years on this fucking dude, and I'm done. I'm just done. He's not going to take another minute of my time. I mean, I'll do that thing on Friday night with Andrew, but I'm done. I'm not going to give that motherfucker 1 minute more of my time. He's guilty. He said he's guilty. He didn't say, and he actually admitted that he was the one that did the STABBINGS. He actually admitted to that. So I really doubt that there was anybody else involved unless he's covering for somebody. I do believe his dad, who was not in court, has disowned him. And that's why he was not in court. Yeah, I'm just not gonna. I'm not. What more can I say? The dude has admitted guilt to every single one of them and stabbing them. What more do you want from the guy? I mean, we can listen to all the bullshit that's going to be out there. Yep, we all have our own opinions. Yes, Gemini. But I'm not going to fall for it anymore. I'm just not going to. And unless something comes up, but you know what? It's going to go away, people. It's going to go away. It's just going to fall to nothing. And Kohlberger will be in that prison. He's not going to be at some secret place. He's going to be in that prison. If you've seen Enton yesterday, he went and he showed exactly where he was going to be. And that's where he's going to be. Will he do an interview someday? Maybe. Maybe. In a decade. Otherwise, he's just going to fall off the face of the earth, people. He's admitted his guilt. Yes, he did, Elizabeth. Because the judge asked, did you stab these people to death? And he answered, yes. Did you use a knife and stab these people to death? And he said, yes, to every single count. Yeah, max prison. It'll be the max prison. I'm looking at what everybody's saying. Yeah, well, and we might get into that because we might do that. I have to talk to someone first on that and what we're going to do with that. We could do those two because they are very different. And it could explain why Brian is the way Brian is and why Brian did what he did. So yeah, we might be doing that, but it's going to be different than you think. Exactly, Allie. You had a very cold, deep stare. And not even 1 ounce, not even 1 ounce of emotion. If he was not guilty, people, think about this. If he was not guilty, this would affect him. This would affect him. It would affect seeing these families hurting. Nothing. Just a cold, blank stare. And that said a lot to me. I didn't hear that, Ren. I didn't hear that. Actually, yeah, I think it was worded by yourself or something like that. I'll have to look back. Don't quote me on that one. Yep, same year, Chloe. Yes, and here's Rory's channel, They're Surviving the Truth. Yeah, there is questions, Rabbit. There's definitely questions. And I'm sure all the other channels are going to get into it and blah, blah, blah. But I just can't do it. After looking at his face and his eyes and his testimony, that's all it takes. That's all it took. Because, like I said, if you think about it, if I was up on that stand and I wasn't guilty, but I was pleading guilty because I had no other choice, because I was cornered, which some of these other channels are going to be saying, it would have affected me. It would have affected me. Nothing there. Nothing. Like he didn't give a flying fuck. He didn't give a flying fuck that these kids got murdered. You could see it in his eyes. He had not an ounce of emotion? Who can sit there? You know, I watched a video, and I'm not sure who it was. And they did a fast forward thing. And they said, watch the body language of everybody in court. And it was kind of going fast where, you know, jerky motions, you know. And you could see people going like this and like that and turning their heads and, you know, just doing normal things like this and whatever, or looking at papers and then up like this. Brian didn't move. Did not move through that whole fast forward. I'm not sure whose that was. But they did. They had DNA. One speck of DNA. He thought he was perfect. He was cocky. He asked what they wanted. He told the police and FBI and stuff in Pennsylvania, let's go out for coffee after this. He was that confident that they had nothing. That cold, blank stare. If he wasn't guilty, he would have had some kind of emotion for these families. But he had none. He had no emotions for these families whatsoever. He didn't care. And that, to me, is very telling. And I know a lot of the family are not going to like that. And that's okay. And I hope I keep you. Yeah, and there's going to be all kinds of stuff and whatever, but there was no filter on his face. Shouldn't, because Anne described how he would look and why he seemed sensitive without effect. Now we have a different, very, very, very different. If he's innocent, people, we have a very different theory on this. Different than you've ever heard before. Different from Ombre, different from Birdie, different from everybody. And we'll be getting into that. And maybe we should do, if you're out there, you know who you are. If you're out there, maybe we should run that. What is today? What is today? Thursday, Wednesday. I can't even keep track anymore. It's Wednesday. Maybe we should run that tomorrow. We're going to run it soon. And that would be the only reason that I could say that he had any innocence at all. Yes, and we're going to watch some stuff. All right, Roark. Yeah, get back to work, brother. Don't want you to get fired over this. That'd be awful. Get fired over this case, too. You take care, brother. Love you, man. Thanks for coming in, bro. Well, let's watch some of this stuff, and we'll go from there. I'm hoping everything's okay with my, I finally ordered a 20 terabyte external hard drive, right? But now I'm trying to figure out how to get my updates to go on that instead of my computer, because it keeps trying to do these updates and there's not enough room on my computer. That's why I was 4 minutes late. It kept trying to update. Anyway, I will get it figured out. I will get it figured out. Let me look at something here. Yeah, Elizabeth, yeah, he did. And actually, I wonder if I got that. Anyway, I'm going to show something now. I don't even know what I'm showing here. Let me look. I don't got him, but I can find it. Well, let's watch this. Okay. I'm letting this load real nice so I don't have any problems here. I don't have everything set up with that external hard drive yet, so okay, here we go. Oops. Here we are.
That's Kaylee's sister. Hello, I'd like to start by thanking the court for allowing me the time and opportunity to speak today. Madison Mogan is a sister too. I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take. They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence. Two pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie is they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy. Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. At the inside of my own head, everything I wish I could say to you. The truth about me is when I heard the news, I didn't cry. I listened for them. I promised them I would, that I would fight for them, that I would show up no matter what it cost me. I swore I'd never let them feel alone. Because you see, I've always been their heavyweight. I've always been the one to fight the battles they didn't feel ready to fight themselves. All it ever took was a call, and they knew I would handle.
I got to stop this for a second. MJ's gold pants, was he supposed to start crying? I don't know about crying, but he didn't show any emotion. He didn't show any. You know what? I think I probably would have started crying. I mean, it's called human, just being human. It doesn't matter if you knew the families or not. You feel something for these families. I mean, if I had been accused of doing this and I wasn't guilty, I would feel everything that these families went through. If I was innocent, if I was guilty and a cold-blooded killer, I would show a stone face. And that's what he showed.
handle it for them, no matter the time, no matter the cost. They could wave their white flag because they knew I would never back down, not for them. And not even death could change that. Somewhere along the line, I started to think about what I would say to them if I was given just one last chance. If I could gather enough heartbreak or love or sacrifice or whatever it took to get just one message across, what would I say? Throughout this entire process, I've written my feelings down at every moment, my wishes, my love, my denial, my anger. And as one final act of love, I'd planned to read these thoughts, even jarring and discombobulating and not even making sense. Because for me, that was true love. As bare and as naked as it could be, not laced in pretty words or dressed for the occasion, but written through bleary eyes at 2 a.m. with clenched fists, angry at this reality. My true final act of love was to continue on without them, for them. That dream to read aloud my love.
Musical shrubs. No, they aren't trying to put him in front of a firing squad. They took that away, and they took the death penalty away. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And that he will.
Them to bring meaning through pain was the latest blow in realizing you don't deserve it. And Kaylee and Maddie don't need it. Kaylee and Maddie have always known my love, and they would never ask me to prove it by further victimizing myself to a defendant who has shown no guilt, no remorse, no apprehension. They would say to me, "Why would you give the satisfaction of showing vulnerability now? You promised you would never back down." And for that clarity, I'm thankful. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears resembling disappointments like and on the illusion of.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done anything like this. I would have went.
Instead, I will call you what you are: sociopath, psychopath, murderer. I will ask the questions that reverberate.
So I wonder what all these other channels are going to do when the 42 days pass and there's nothing. Because that's what's going to happen. I don't think this is any. I could see it in Ann Taylor's eyes. There is no more anything, people. There's not going to be anything. As much as we want, and trust me, I want to believe that too, but I can't. I cannot. There isn't going to be anything within the 42 days. This is just going to go away. And like I said, look up the appeal process. After you have pled guilty and after you have pled that you can't have an appeal, read up on it, because it's just a formality. It's just an automatic denial. And it's over. It's done. It's a waste of paper. Yeah, the only thing is if new evidence comes into being. That's the only way. That is the only way out for Mr. Kohlberger. Otherwise, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Yeah, I thought that too. for a long time, forever. I just don't believe it anymore. Maddie was sleeping, and she would have been easy to take out. And now we find out that Ethan was sleeping. He didn't even fight back. Ethan didn't fight back, people. He was drunk and passed out. What kind of person stabs someone like 30 times, cuts his legs when he's fucking passed out? We got to listen to what these people are saying. And how would you react? How would you react if you were innocent? And you can say, oh, the autism, this and that. He still would have some feeling. Depending, of course, on the spectrum. But I watched Survivor, and I've seen two people have autism, and I've seen them both cry and have emotions. We just, I think it's time people need to smell the coffee. And that's my opinion, whatever that's worth. But I think we need to listen to what these people are saying.
Violently in my own head, so loudly that I can't think straight most any day. Some of these might be familiar, so sit up straight when I talk to you. How was your life right before you murdered my sisters? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your apartment? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Why did you choose my sisters? Before making your move, did you approach my sisters? Detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving their home, is there anything else you did? How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at than being a murderer is trying to be a rapper? Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? Why November 13th? Did you truly think your Amazon purchase was untraceable because you used a gift card? How do you find it enjoyable to stargaze with such a severe case of visual snow? Where is the murder weapon? The clothes you wore that night? What did you bring into the house with you? What was the second weapon you used on Kaylee? What were Kaylee's last words? Please describe in detail the level of anxiety you must have felt when you heard the Bearcat pull up to your family home on December 30th, 2022. Which do you regret more? Returning to the crime scene 5 hours later, or never, ever going back to Moscow, not even once, after stalking them there for months? If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The number one food for regular BMs, huh? Oh.
Scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, picking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different.
I would have been rehearsed too. I would have rehearsed what I was going to say to him probably 50 times. And it might have came out plastic. But I would have, I would have rehearsed what I was going to say to him. No doubt about it. No doubt in my mind.
To be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin. Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light.
And just to make it clear, I do not see any filters on this man's face. None whatsoever. It's the same as hers, the same as hers. It's called, I don't know what they got. Their cameras aren't like, I doubt they're at 1080. They're probably at 480. So, of course, there's going to be like a little blur on everybody's face because that's just the camera settings, people.
You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that seemed important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You work so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear.
I actually think she's doing a
Don't
very
ever try
good
to
job.
convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth?
You got to remember this. She had 3 years to cry and to get that kind of stuff out so she could say what she needed to say to this dude. And I think she's doing an excellent job of doing it. She's not breaking down. She didn't want to break down. She wanted to get her message across.
Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. Thank you.
Thank you.
2020.
And I believe that. I believe that she would have kicked his fucking ass. Not while she was on a bed and a knife being stabbed into her over 30 times. And what I've heard, it was 54 times. Steve said over 30. That pretty much takes the fight away from you. We need to look at the facts of this case. I do believe, and I haven't talked to him yet, but I do believe Cy Ray would not testify in the behalf of Brian Kohlberger because he got all the data. And he reserved that right to change his mind. And I do believe that's why the plea was entered. That's my opinion. I will find out sooner or later when I do talk to Cy. Yeah, only in Detroit, docs all dropped from Moscow. Would they drop them off the page? Let me go look. No, I still see them. They're still there. They're still there. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to let this load up. Okay, there we go. Now, this is a friend of mine, and we're friends on Facebook. I've talked to her in person, and yeah, I'm gonna share this. And this is Xana's mother, Kara.
Next is Kara Northington, Xana's mother.
And I just want to say to Kara, I am so sorry about your daughter, Xana. And she was a beautiful soul, like you said, inside and out. And she has affected my life for the rest of my life. And Kara, I'm so proud of what you've done with your life in these past months and how far you've come. And I just want you to know that I love you. And I wish you nothing but the best in life.
This letter is to you, really. But it's for my daughter, who was murdered by you. Today I stand before you, the man who was responsible for murdering my beautiful daughter, Xana Kernodle. My daughter was beautiful both inside and out. She possessed love for those around her and had a light so bright it will live on forever in our hearts. She brought joy and laughter to her friends, her family, and anyone in her presence. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, now has her in his loving arms in heaven, where she can never be harmed ever again.
I hate to interrupt here again, but only in Detroit, saying please go look. All is up, Tommy. Crime scene description and everything. Where is that at? Only in Detroit. Can you list? Can you send me an email or something with the link or something at onceuponacrimetime@gmail.com? Because you can't post the link in the chat. I'd appreciate only in Detroit, because I don't know what you're talking about. Exactly, Mark and Betty. Exactly. He had time to come out, and he had time to tell the truth, people. He had time. He didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to say a fucking word. He just sat there cold, stone-faced. Yes, I feel really bad for Kara. Zana was, they were all very special. But Zana had that spark, you know what I mean? I can't explain it.
I came to know my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because of her, many will come to Christ. It is Christ who lives in me that has given me the strength to forgive you. It was of no power of my own. In return, the Lord has filled me with joy, hope, and peace that surpasses all understanding. Jesus has allowed me to forgive you for murdering my daughter without you even being sorry or asking for this. This is only possible because he who lives in me is greater than any evil in this world. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. I do not fear you or even let you rent space in my head anymore. This forgiveness has released me from any and all evil you have inflicted on me and my family. It has allowed me to let our Lord deal with you. You have accepted a deal that will prevent you from receiving the death penalty. Nothing man can do to you can ever compare to the wrath of God. Inevitably, you will stand before our Lord and will have to answer to him over the sins you have committed in murdering our children. I pray you come to the end of yourself before that day. Whether you like it or not, heaven is for real and so is hell. The innocent life of Xana that you stole from myself and my family, and the destruction of this, and the destruction it has caused. I am washing my hands of you and turning you over to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, whom vengeance belongs to. In closing, I want to read a passage from the Bible, Ephesians 6, King James Version. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, that ye may be able to stand in the evil day. I'm not going to share memories of Xana or any more of the goodness of her with you, that to be in your head. I don't want it to be in your head. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve our good memories that we have. I do pray for you. I pray that you come to the end of yourself. I pray that before this life is over, that you ask our Lord and Savior in your heart and to forgive you. I do pray for that. But after today, I wash my hands of you and you are no longer a thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and she did mention on Facebook, and and I've talked to her, and she's thought it was a frats at one time also, just like we all have, just like we all have. But then you have a guy that goes up there and pleads guilty to stabbing every one of them. He admitted to pulling in there, parking his car, going in the sliding door, going upstairs. Xana heard them, started to go upstairs, and he chased her downstairs, got her, and then stabbed Ethan while he was sleeping. And those are the facts of the case, people. The unknown blood DNA, I'm sure there probably wasn't enough there was probably enough to show male, so it could have been Kohlberger's. We don't know. It is a crazy case, and it has been a crazy case, and there has been enough to support, and I am with these channels that were supporting him to over almost 3 fucking years. Did the reflection series, thousands and thousands of hours. And now I feel stupid. I didn't see how dark this man was until the last couple of weeks. Looking into his eyes. Seeing, I wasn't looking for remorse because I was thinking he was innocent. And that's what I looked for in his eyes, and I didn't see it. I didn't see innocence. I seen guilty. I seen pride. I seen that this person has no feelings. Do you and people will say, oh, it's it's autism and blah blah blah. Whatever it is. He do you remember what he said about his parents back way long time ago when he was a teenager? I have no emotions. I could do it. I have no remorse. He said it himself. I have no remorse for anything. He said this when he was like 15 years old. He's going to go down as one of the worst. And you know what? We are all fucking lucky as hell that they found that little piece of DNA. Because this man would do it again and again and again, and he would get better at it. He applied to be at Wazoo Police Department. I think he wanted to be in there to see what was going on before this is before it would happen. He wanted to be in that police department so he could know what was going on. I mean, this man had everything planned out to move to Washington. He looked up sexual stuff about people being passed out. No, if I was innocent, I'd be screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm innocent. I would have never pled guilty. I don't care what the death penalty or not. I would have pled not guilty and I would have fought it all the way and I would have been screaming at the top of my lungs. Yeah, I'm sure there was 2 weapons. I'm sure he had 2 weapons. If you don't think he didn't do any research on the K-bar, you're sadly mistaken. He knows those tips break off, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he brought 2 weapons. Anybody that did it brought 2 weapons. Put it that way. You know, and if there is more involved, where did I see that? Bobby X, yeah, I still believe more was involved. And that might come out at some point. But I don't think more people are involved anymore. I just don't think so. If there is, then he's going to cover for them for the rest of his life. He'll never say who. And if there was, like I said, Rory exposed it a long time ago. Those 7 minutes on the way there and the 7 minutes on the way back. Right by Kopaka's building. I don't think it was done in 8 minutes. I think someone was driving his car. I think, yeah, there could be someone else involved. He got dropped off earlier than they know. Then that's where they fucked up. I think he got dropped off. The man is a jogger. The guy can run a mile in 6 minutes. 6 minutes, people. He could have got dropped off a mile away and been there in 6 minutes. But I don't even think that. I think one of the times that he was driving around that he got dropped off. And he might have got dropped off right at Linda Lane on the 3-point turn. He got dropped off earlier than they're saying. I think he had a lot more time than people think. It wasn't 8 minutes. They're thinking that he drove the car. I don't think he did. I think somebody else was driving. Yeah, but the appeal means nothing, Mark and Betty. Look it up. Look it up. It's just a formality. It's not like the appeal, like if he would have pled innocent and been found guilty, then appealed. It's not that kind of appeal. I can't remember the word used. I'm trying to think of it. But if you look it up, it's just a formality. It really is. Yeah, I really believe it, and I think if anybody else was driving, it was probably Kopaka, and they took him out. They probably thought at that time that maybe that Kopaka did it out. Yeah, I understand that down there. I've thought of all this stuff, but I just don't think that's the way it is with this. And we don't know the spectrum of him. I mean, at all. He was socially awkward. Um, I just don't think. And I think the family knew. I think the family knew. I think the family knew very well it was him for quite a while. And I think that's why Dad went out there to drive him back, to help drive him back. I think the family, if anything, he was protecting the family of knowing that he did it and not coming forward and saying it, because they could have been thrown in jail as accessory. If anything, that's what he was protecting. Yeah, they said that a long time ago. She's just a double one. Yeah, they said that a long time ago. But something changed. Something changed in Anne about 2 months ago. And I can almost guarantee you what it is. It's that Cy Ray changed his mind after seeing all the data. Because Cy ain't going to bullshit anybody around. I mean, if he sees that what they said was right, he'll admit it. He's not going to let some murderer go free just because of his ego and because of what his company does. He said that there was only about 22% of the data. And with that 22% of the data, everything that he had seen is exculpatory to Brian Kohlberger. But that he didn't see all the data and that he left it open, that he was leaving it open to change his mind if he's seen that data. And I do believe he's seen that data and changed his mind. And that's when the guilty plea came. Had nothing to do with anything but Cy Ray changing his mind. Because I can tell you one thing. If Cy Ray seen all the data and still said that Brian, it was exculpatory to Brian, they would not be pleading guilty. They would not be pleading guilty, people. Can everybody understand that? If Cy was still saying that it was exculpatory to Brian, they would not have pled guilty. I do, Mark and Betty, I do. I hate to say it. I was on the fence. I had a really hard time with this yesterday. A really hard time with it last night. But I'm looking at the facts, and that's what I'm looking at. There is no more, oh, what if this person said this? Oh, this guy's acting weird. Was threatened by Hannah's brother. The frat boys, they did it. I'm just not falling for it anymore. I've looked into his eyes. I mean, really got to look into his eyes finally, because all we ever got was like side shots. We never got a really good look into his eyes. And why these people were saying this stuff, you can see it in his eyes that he is guilty. If someone helped him, he'll never say who. He'll never, ever, ever say who. Oh, yeah, there's a way, Teresa. There's definitely a way. When you have two people that are passed out, that's like only taking out two people. Really, think about it. Ethan was passed out. He didn't even fight back. And if we want to go by the rumor bin, he OD'd that night. And they had the narc on him. So, I mean, he was all cold. Maddie, look how drunk she was. She was fucking passed out badly. I can guarantee that. The phone calls from different phones. I think Kaylee picked up Maddie's phone because JD wasn't answering hers. Yeah, I know, Teresa. I know, girl. I can only take so much. You know what I mean? I can only take so much. Exactly. Yeah, I'd like to know who did that. I'm pretty sure I know who messed with the film and the audio. I know who did that. I think anybody that knows where that film came from knows who messed with it. And that's why they didn't use the messed with. I'll guarantee you their video that they have of Linda Lane doesn't have any of that audio in there. I guarantee it. Somebody messed with that audio. And no, I don't think it was the landlord. The landlord gave it to somebody. Somebody actually bought it. We know who it is. Rory knows. Rory and I both know who it is because they admitted it to us. Well, it is known that he had on his phone pictures of their friends. So, and I'm telling you this right now. Here's my opinion on it. You want to know what I think? How he knew about these kids and how he knew about the house layout and everything. I think he was there. I think it was there Halloween night. Dressed up. So nobody knew who it was. And he got to look around. He looked at the girls. He looked at the house. And that was his main reason for going to that Halloween party. That's my opinion. He was dressed up for Halloween, so nobody knew who he was. Of course, the open door policy there. He just walked right in like he was one of the frats. He walked right in, got to look everywhere. He got to see everywhere, and not just that. They know that he parked in that one place where he could watch Maddie's window. And whose room did he go to first? Maddie's. Yeah, that I think he had her fooled. Who was that, Tressa? Why has Anne vehemently defended him and proclaimed his innocence? I think she thought he was innocent. Truly believe that. I don't think she would have said that. But like I said, something changed about 2 months ago. Something changed in Anne. And does anybody agree with that? That like 2 months ago, something changed. She wasn't the fighter she was. She wasn't fighting for things in court anymore. Like 2 months before the plea here. Like 2 months before the plea, she totally changed. And I think she totally changed because it finally came through the cast report. They got the rest of the information finally into Cy Ray's hands, and Cy looked at it and said, he's guilty. It's him. I cannot, he probably said, I cannot prove that he went to Wawa Park, but I can prove that other things. And that's when Anne changed. That's what I think. Because she did change. There was a change about her. She wasn't acting the same anymore. She wasn't like that. That spirit was gone. It was just gone. Her fight was gone. There has to be a reason for that. And I think that's when Brian probably told Anne, I did do it. After Cy Ray came out with what he thought on the full COTS report. That's probably when Brian went to Anne and said, I did it. Because there was nowhere else for him to go. He wouldn't admit it until there was that evidence. Because why wouldn't they fight it till the end? Because it looked like they had more evidence on the defense side than they did the prosecution side. Up until I do believe Cy Ray got that information. And that he agreed with LE and the FBI. And I think that's how it went down. Okay, let's look for this here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let this load up. Then we're going to take a peek at this. And here we go. And this is from Creme 2, and this is Jasmine Kernodle.
Kernodle, Santa's sister.
Just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved in this, for all the dedication you guys have put into this. I also want to thank everyone for the support and just my family and friends who've been around through this time. I went back and forth on whether to speak today because the truth is, you don't deserve power over my feelings, my words, or me. In the end, I realized this moment isn't about you. It's about justice for Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie. It's about honoring the beautiful people they were and still are in God's eyes. On November 13th, 2022, a piece of my heart was ripped away. There's no way to ever fully describe the weight of losing my sister, my best friend. No sentence or punishment will ever come close to the justice Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie deserve. Xana was everyone's best friend. She was kind, she was funny. She was a gift to each person she was able to make an impact on. Xana was someone I turned to when I needed direction or advice. Although I am her older sister, I often she had a radiant energy that everyone loved, and she always knew the right way to approach a problem. She knew how precious and special life was, and she truly did live every day to the fullest. Yet her story was cut short by an act of evil. I believe in a God whose justice is not bound by this courtroom. I find peace knowing that judgment ultimately belongs to him. For your sake, I hope one day you feel the full weight of what you did. I hope you take accountability. I hope you truly experience the guilt and you surrender yourself to Jesus Christ. Because no punishment on this earth can ever compare to the isolation and pain of eternal separation from God.
Just to answer you, Invisible Karma, he unalived 4 people, yes. Also gagged. They didn't say gagged. That wasn't the word. It was more, let me turn this on. It was more like this. He held their mouth, oh God, while he was stabbing them. And Maddie was passed out, and Ethan was passed out. So he hadn't allied 4, but only 2 were awake. And only 2 fought. And he didn't do it in 8 minutes. That, I'll say that right now. They're wrong on that. He got dropped off. He got dropped off on one of those passes. He got dropped off. There was somebody else driving that car. There is somebody else involved, but I think he's dead. I think he's dead. Now, a person could argue, just to be on both sides here a little bit, to look at both sides, a person could argue that Kohlberger was driving and Kopaka got out of the car. And that Kohlberger wanted to see what his mind was like after the crime and all that. Because remember that research paper? That's the only scenario I can see. But he still would be involved as a driver. But if the man is dead that did it, and I did hear that Anne was going to use Kopaka. But how can you use a man that is dead? And you can blame that on law enforcement and the SWAT team. He had a lot more than 8 to 12 minutes. I think he was in there by 3:40, 3:40, 3:40 to 3:45. So he had a lot more time than people think. That's my opinion. He was dropped off. Yeah, but when did she say that? When did she say there was no timing advance reports for Brian? That was a long time ago, Translucent. I think things changed about 2.5 months ago or something like that. Things changed and changed. What I heard, Coco, was that Ethan was sleeping. That's what I heard. Ethan was sleeping, and so was Maddie. That's what I heard in court, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I just know, and I just feel that he's guilty, because he couldn't prove that the driver did it because the driver's dead, Translucent. He had no way out. If that's what happened, I'm saying that if that's what happened, let's say Kopaka was the person, he had no way out. He had no way to prove that Kopaka did it or that Kopaka was driving. He had no way to prove this. I just know that I've wasted almost 3 years of my life on this, and you all know how much I put into this, and all of us have put into this. The whole family has invested a lot of time into this, and I'm just not going to put. I can't click the link, Coco. I can't click it. You'd have to be like backstage or send it to my email or something like that. Let's finish this up, and then my email quickly too. Anyway.
Xana deserved more. They all did. But I come here to say this. I am strong. I'm a fighter, just like Xana. And you don't get to control how I move forward or what I believe. I walk with the comfort of knowing I will see my sister again. Xana didn't get the future she deserved. She won't be the maid of honor at my wedding. I'll never hear her laugh or see her light up a room ever again. But I will carry her with me for the rest of my life. I will live in her honor, fight to be the best kind of woman and someone she's proud of, to make sure the world never end with what was taken from her.
Okay, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Um, okay, so there is there. What's going on here? There is a bunch of documents out now. They're coming out like crazy, people, and we're going to look at a couple of these and see what they say. Exactly, invisible. Yeah, I just feel sick to my stomach because I've dropped my mute. I hardly jam anymore because of this case, and it's taken a lot out of me. And I'm just not going to let that happen anymore. I want to play. I'm 65 years old. I only got so many years left to play music, and it's in my blood. And it's been in my blood for 40 years. I played music for 40 fucking years. I almost feel like Ozzy when I said that. For 40 fucking years. Love you, Oz. That affected me really hard yesterday. I had a hard time with not dealing just with Ozzy. That spurred a lot of emotion in me. Just the losing of my generation of music, and that affected me a lot yesterday and last night. Matter of fact, I got a headache about it. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I got here, and I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but you're gonna. Okay, so here we go, people. Right here. Kohlberger investigation documents. Anybody see this page? Listed below are the non-exempt MPD investigatory records related to state of Idaho versus Brian Kohlberger, Latah County case, blah, 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 Ada County case, blah, 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 and MPD case, blah, 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 that have been redacted pursuant to the Idaho Public Records Act and authorized for release to the general public. So let's go to I suppose we'll start at the very first one here and see what it says. I might have to share a different page here. Let me see what's. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, they're not ready yet. Oh, wait a minute. Careers, utilities, maps, agendas, and minutes. Agendas and minutes. I don't think they're quite ready yet. Oh, no. Yeah, they're not ready yet. These aren't ready. Available downloads. They will be ready at some point, I'm sure. They're not here. I got that in email, but they're not quite ready to go. They will be at some point, though. Yeah, I'm not froze. I'm here. But when I click on these, they don't go to anywhere. They're getting ready to, I think, but I click on them and they don't go anywhere. Let me see. Oh, it just disappeared, totally disappeared. So they're not quite ready yet on these. Oh, what's that? No, that's nothing. Oh, they're downloading. They're downloading. That's what they're doing. Oh, well, let me look and see what I got in my download. I didn't want them to download. I don't know why they did that. All right, well, let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of that. And then I got to, let's see. Okay, I can do that. There is a lot there. There really is. Wait until you see. Check it out, people. Check it out. Yep, they download. Yeah, I don't know why it downloads when I click on them. I'm tired of that too. But anyway, here we go. So these are at that page I just showed you. And you have, let's just see how bad. Look at, this is just one page, people. One of those things to click on. I got 2 more files like this. And I haven't even clicked on them all. So they are releasing everything. Let's take a look at this first. 400 and some that everybody is seeing this. No, okay, so I got to stop sharing that, and I'm getting there. And here's the first thing. And here we go. And this is on January 4th, 2023, at approximately 10:30 hours, I released the remainder of the blank blank personal property to blank 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 blank. Sign for the item, sign release attached electronically to the case file. I learned from Bill Thompson per recent signed court order to hold all evidence blank. Items fell under that order. Thompson stated his office would contact blank blank and make arrangements to have blank items returned to MPD. On January 6, 2023, Sergeant Blaker traveled to Boise, Idaho, and picked up blank personal belongings from blank blank and transported them back to MPD. You know what? On January 6, 2023, okay, what I would like to know is when that fire was. I'm still an investigator, all right? I'm still an investigator. And what I'd like to know is what the date was of that fire in was that Boise or Coeur d'Alene? That was Coeur d'Alene, though. Yeah, this is Boise. Okay, never mind. On January 9th, 2020, I assisted Sergeant Baker with unloading blank. It starts with a D. I don't know what they're talking about here. What would start with a D? Can you see that D right there? D items from his vehicle back into MPD secured storage garage at the city of Moscow shop. D Vargas, MBPD. D Vargas. Oh, maybe that's who they're talking about right there. They probably just named his first name because look, there's a D. His name is Vargas. That's strange, isn't it? Or maybe Dustin Blake or no. IDM picked up. I wonder if that isn't Dylan's personal belongings from blank blank and transferring back to MPD. Unloading blank. Dylan's. I'm thinking this is saying Dylan's items. There's a D right here. Dylan's items from his vehicle back into MPD secured. I'm not sure. But that's one thing right there. Okay. And let's take a look at this one's got a lot more. Let's go with one that's got a lot on it. Okay. So then I think Coco, did you leave the yeah, there you go. Thank you. That's the link right there that Coco's got there. That's the link to all the everything, people. If you want to read up on the documents, you go to that site right there and click on those. It's kind of weird how it acts. They are all in PDF form, so you have to watch. You have to download it, I think, first, and then open them up as PDFs. I don't know. That's the way my computer is acting, and I'm not sure. Right, translucent. There's a lot of wondering still. I know that's a tough one, Teresa, because I do feel stupid after almost 3 years, and I just wish. Yes, thank you, Coco. I just wish I would have had a little more open mind on things. And okay. I'm just gonna say I love you out there to someone, and they know who I am, know who I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm going to. Oh, I got to share this. Okay, so this is a bigger one. I always got to move that stupid thing out of the way. Okay, so I can add this to stage here. There we go. Okay, so here, let's take a peek at what this says. Watch guard event. Yes, I don't know what that means. Additional responding officers, non-case evidence narrative. On November 23, so this is 10 days after the Red Rums. November 23, 2022, approximately 39 hours, blank, and you can see MM. So I'm thinking That's Molly McMichael. This is Molly McMichael, people. I guarantee it. There's an M here. There's an M here. Blank blank came to the Moscow Police Department to be interviewed about her presence in the area of 1122 King Road during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. Molly was identified as being in the area through records obtained from DoorDash, so we know that's Molly McMichael, via a search warrant, and was confirmed as being in the... So this is way back on the 23rd of November. 10 days after. Search warrant was confirmed as being in the area based off a Google geofence warrant, which was obtained as a result of this investigation. I was accompanied by FBI Special Agent Alex Skelton during this interview. Molly told me she worked for 12 to 18 hours on the night of November 12th to the 13th and received 3 orders in the King Road, Queen Road area. 2 of the orders were at, blank Queen Road apartment complex, which is immediately to the east of 1122. Okay. I wonder which apartments those are east of. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up. Molly said the delivery at 1122 King Road was her final order of the evening. McMichael said she could not find the 1122 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. Oh, please don't do this to me. So we know that one of those cars driving around was what we thought, the DoorDash driver. And here it's stating it right in the documents. There's no more guessing. Said the delivery at 1122 was her final order of the evening. Said she could not find 1122 King Road address as the address number was hidden by the porch light, which caused her to remain in the area for approximately 15 minutes. McMichael also stated her Google Maps told her to go to the parking lot immediately behind 1122 King Road. McMichael stated she initially parked in the front of 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window. Top left? Really? The top left, isn't that? The top left, isn't that the living room? Isn't that the living room? Isn't the top left the living room? Huh? Is the top left the living room? Because the right would be the top left is the living room. So someone was looking out of the living room window. Look at this. McMichael stated she initially parked in front of the 1122 King Road and could see a female in the top left window. The third story bathroom. Okay. McMichael said she saw the same female a couple more times in the same window, and she would duck down when McMichael looked at her. What the fuck? McMichael then said she drove to the back parking lot behind 1122 King Road and parked. She stated she could see the back courtyard area behind the house and noticed all of the lights were on. McMichael stated her map told her to walk into the back of the house, but she did not feel comfortable doing so because there was no path. McMichael said she started to walk down the road, which runs north and south immediately to the east of the residence. Stated a tan sedan drove next to her while she was walking. Well, this is quite fucking interesting here, people. Michael said there was one male driver and said there was one male driver. It's not letting me. Said there was one male driver and noticed he did not look at me. She said he looked completely zoned and just drove by her. McMichael later stated the driver was white with blonde or red spiky hair. McMichael also noticed the dome light in the car was on when it went by and later told me the male was wearing a light collared shirt. McMichael stated she walked back up to her car and drove back to the front of the 1122 King Road, at which point she saw the address numbers. McMichael said she placed the order at the front door, took a picture, and then left at approximately 0400 hours. So 4 o'clock. She left at 4 o'clock. During the time McMichael was in the area of the King Road residence, the white Elantra can be seen via the blank King Road camera. Okay, I have a feeling this might be 1126, people. Can be seen via the blank King Road camera driving back and forth on Walenta Drive, and then this has to be 1126. Walenta Drive, and then enter the King Road Queen Road loop at approximately 0356 hours. At the point, McMichael pulled into the front parking lot before she dropped the order off. The white Elantra pulled in behind McMichael. Okay, that's a little different than I heard. Behind McMichael's vehicle, a gray Subaru Forester. That's what she was driving. And then exited the King Road at approximately 0358 hours. McMichael did not mention seeing the white Elantra behind her at any time. I continued to question McMichael about her time near the residence. She told me she walked down Queen Road at one point with her flashlight out. McMichael can be seen doing so on the footage from blank King Road. Okay, let's see. So let me see what this is saying. She walked down Queen Road. Okay, Queen Road. So I'm thinking this is 1126 again. McMichael also continued to tell me the female she saw in the upstairs bathroom window would duck down when McMichael looked at her. McMichael described her as having long brown hair. That's got to be Xana. Why would she be on the third floor? McMichael stated she could not identify the girl as one of the victims. Ooh. Approximately 30 minutes into the interview, S.A. Skelton requested McMichael take part in a cognitive interview. McMichael agreed, and S.A. Skelton began the cognitive interview. During this interview, McMichael confirmed much of the information she already told us. McMichael was able to remember she had her dog with her during one of her walks in the area, but did not clarify much more in the ways of the details of the evening. We thanked McMichael for her cooperation, offered any support she may need, and concluded our interview. Subsequent investigation of video footage and cellular data showed the tan sedan McMichael saw was likely a light-colored SUV which left the area. Moreover, it does not appear McMichael saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. What? Wait a minute. Am I missing something here? How can the white Elantra, it says the white Elantra pulled in behind McMichael's vehicle and then exited the King Road approximately there. Okay. And then down here it says, it does not appear McMichael saw the white Elantra at any point during her time near the residence. Well, what about when it pulled in behind her? Oh, well, that doesn't fucking make sense. Oh, my God. Oh my God. Oh boy. Exactly, true crime. Yeah, they had to track her down. What? What? Yeah, I do too, Teresa. Fuck, why doesn't nothing make fucking sense in this case? And yeah, I don't understand that either, translucent. Why is someone ducking? And then it says that she could not identify her as being of the four victims. Well, who the fuck was it then? And why are they ducking? Okay, I know where to go now because you're gonna be blown away by this. You're gonna be blown away by this. That's the one that's the one I or shit. Where this might take me a little time, but you're gonna be blown away by something if I can find it. And that's the whole deal. Let me see about this one. I think I found it. Let me read a little bit. I want to make sure this is the one. No, it's so long. I don't know if. Let's see. Okay. I don't need that up. What I do need, though, let me look here. There's so damn many. I know. No, I wasn't for. I wasn't for. At least that's what it looked like to me. Let me look and see here. Are you talking 104? Because that's what I was on. Was 104. Let me see if this is right here. No, this No, the one I was in was 104, and that's not right. I think I'm in the wrong folder. That's the problem. Let me get out of this here. Well, which one are you in? Okay, I'll look and see. Oh shit. Well, if you were in there, then I need to then I need to go back to that. I need to go back to the links. I'll get there, people, because you're going to be shocked. I don't know. I think I'd question that McMichael a little more than what they did. Okay, downloaded it. There we go. No, I'm not getting. Something's wrong here, girl. Oh, I read that wrong. Okay, I think we got it. I want to make sure this is the one that I'm looking for. I'm not seeing it, girl. This is like about TikTok stuff and Brian Kohlberger. I'm going to need more than that. That number isn't right or something. Um, yeah, I know, but what's the number that you're looking at? No, but I'm looking about what you said. What you said. What you said. Yeah, I'm back. Um, okay. I have someone working on this because I think it's kind of big. It's something that we've thought all along, and it isn't what we think. And it's really shocking to me. I mean, really shocking. Um, and they're working on it, is all I can say. But like I said, all these documents are out, and there's a million of them. I'm telling you, I mean, there's a lot of them. I've only downloaded 4 folders, and in each folder, there's got to be 100 per folder or something. And there is a lot of it, a lot of them. Let me see what people are saying here about that other thing, though, because how can she not see, like it was stated in there, how can she not have seen the white Elantra when the white Elantra pulled up behind her? Something's wrong with that. What's wrong with that picture? Something doesn't make sense there. I think they should have well, the thing is, because he admitted guilt. That's the problem, Carolyn. That's the problem. Jethro. Yeah, blonde and red spiky hair, bird dog. But that was that other car, the tan car. All of us, Mark and Betty. All of us. Teresa, I was yelling at my phone. Yeah, you would think, Bird Dog, that she knew the house. Yeah, I agree, but maybe not. You know, maybe not. She might not have known the area. She might have delivered to everybody but that house. But we got to remember one thing, that the information that we're going to be looking at, and that you can look at with your own eyes on this. Coco put up the link there, and I can do that too. This is the link to the documents. Yes, I did, Chrissy Chris. Yeah, not even that long ago. I did believe in a black backpack. The problem is that he's pled guilty, and he looks guilty as fuck. He does. He looks guilty as fuck, and I don't know what to. Yeah, I think they should. They should actually. It doesn't sound like they interrogated her too much. It sounds more like they questioned her. That's what when there's a quadruple, you should be interrogating everybody that comes in. Everybody that comes in and sits down on a chair. It should be interrogation time, not just questioning. There is a difference. Well, I'm just going to tell you, because this is taking too long here. Okay, what I'm being told, and this is going to shock you, but what I'm being told what I'm being told is Hoodie Guy was not and is not Jack Showalter. And that's in those documents. It's being looked for right now. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory, Mark and Betty. He looked right into everybody's eyes and said he was guilty. All the way around. The STABBING, yes, and everything. So why wouldn't I take his word for it? It's the only thing we've heard from him. The only thing that we've heard from him, the only words that we've heard from him is yes. 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 To every guilty thing thrown at him. Yes, it's a plea deal, but he admitted, yes, it is admission. It is admission. That's what I don't think people are getting. The judge asked him, did you stab Santa Carnoto, human being, to death? Yes. That's admission. But I'm surprised that Showalter is not the gray hoodie guy that we all thought was Jack Showalter. Apparently, it wasn't. I haven't verified that yet, but it's trying to be verified here. Oh, where did you see it to begin with? Or I hope you didn't hear it from somebody. Like I said, I'm going to show you this again and what it looks like. And this is what this page looks like, and I'll show you how many pages there is to go through, because there is a ton. And of course, there's going to be a lot of reading in the next few weeks because there is a ton. As you see, it goes to 50 and then to 51 to 50 to 101. So there's 50 per page. There's 50 except for the last one here. So like if you open one of these, let's see if you're going to see that, or do we got to share that one too? It's taking a while to load here. Oh, it's going to download it. Yeah. Jeez. I'll show you that real quick. Okay, so Yeah, check it out, people. And there's how many of those pages? A few. All of these are the court or the documents that we have not seen. Look how many. This is just one folder. This is just one folder. So they're out, people. They are out. You can click on any of these. You try to find the ones with the most KBs, which I try to do. Like this has got 496. Some of those ones on some of those pages were like 1,200. There's none of those in this one. So I'm wondering what this is about. I'll go down to this one. Okay, well, this might be. Can you guys? What do you guys see here? Let me look and see what you guys see. Okay, you're still seeing that. All right. So this is a different one that we haven't read yet. Okay, so I go here. Early on in the investigation, okay, initial searches for Kohlberger through some victim accounts. So in other words, they're looking at a victim's accounts, looking for Kohlberger. Early on in the investigation, after Kohlberger had been identified as a suspect, I did an initial search for the following names and phone numbers throughout several accounts belonging to the victims. Christopher Kohlberger, and then they blocked out something here, which is strange, and Papa Rogers. I did not find any of the above terms related to Kohlberger in the following accounts listed below: Kaylee's, iCloud, Snapshot, iPhone, Gmail, Yahoo, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram. This is Bethany's and Dylan's Instagram, Ethan's Instagram, Xana's Instagram, Maddie's Facebook, Xana's Facebook, Ethan's Facebook, Bethany's Facebook, Dylan's Facebook. Ooh, Jack Decor's Facebook. JD. My notes are attached electronically to case file. So you see, they were looking up everything, people. They were looking up everything. Now, let me see what. Okay, so I want to go to this and back here. And again, I don't got that one. I got to go back to that fucking page and download it, girl. You must have downloaded all of them at the same freaking time. I didn't do that. Oh, come on. Sorry, it's having a hard time loading up. A lot of information on that page. I looked at the very top, Doc. Oh, the general narrative. Did I get that? Maybe that's what you're talking about. Well, I definitely want. Okay, I'm going to want that. I might as well just download them, right? And I'm going to want this. Sorry, this takes a while, folks. Okay, one of them got downloaded. Okay. Let me see if the other one is. I want this one. I don't know if it got downloaded or not. Let me look and see what I got here. Oh, I might have them all. Okay, so I'll look at this one first. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Are you talking general narrative, Spillman redacted? Okay. The bottom one, the last one, are you talking about? Are you talking about supplemental 50? One I had. You're confusing me. The one I had. Okay, let's take one thing at a time. All right, we're going in circles here. Take one thing at a time. Yeah, I know. Which doc is it? What's the number on it? Give me the number. In supplemental 50? One in supplemental? Okay. Gotcha. Okay, we're getting there, people. Oh, that's because you can see. Okay, you can see what I'm doing. All right, that's why you're. Okay, I get it now. That is a huge document. Okay, so we'll share this. And here we go. And here we are. This is huge. All right. So we got complaint. They out here redacted. Responding officers, Mitch Nunez, Bet Payne, received by CC, whoever that is. You know, I get a kick out of how they redact because you can see their first letters on most of them. Eric Warner, Gunderson, all that good stuff. Okay, so let's scroll down. Okay, involvement. Subpoena, Shane Gunderson, CM, whoever CM is, Jacob Tesdall, Aaron Morris, Andrew Fox, Anthony Dowlinger. These are all cops. Yeah, these are all cops here. Okay. Oh, look at this. Rosenthal's in there. These are all cops. Oh, then we got. Okay, so on 7/12 of 23, what is this? It says related, threatening. What the hell is that? Burglary, related discovery. I wonder what threatening was. An accident related incident. That must have been by his house or something. A welfare check on 11/21 of 22. Related incident. Brian Christopher Kohlberger, offender on 1/3 of 23. Then these are all blacked out, but you can see there's a SD, a NJ, a HJ, Hunter Johnson, involved, mentioned, involved, mentioned, victim. You see all this right here? Let me see if everybody is seeing what I'm seeing, making sure here. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Yeah, they have a record number next to the name for reference. Let me see what everybody's saying. Yeah. So, whoops. There we go. So, yeah. Well, as you can see, they were involved in a pretty heavy investigation. Hunter Johnson, HJ, involved. Or no, witness. I'm sorry, witness. Oh, no, NJ. Who the hell is NJ? A witness. NJ. Who is that? Is a witness. HJ involved. NK involved. It looks like either O or CP involved. And PE, it looks like, involved. And then there's a SJ mentioned, SL mentioned, the LD involved, a AA involved, a KJ involved, DJ mentioned, Madison victim, a KJ involved, JH involved. As you can see, I mean, this is quite an investigation, people. I mean, this isn't your normal. This is pretty extensive, and we're going to find out how extensive this investigation was. And I think it was probably pretty damn extensive. There's an MJ mentioned, AE involved, complainant. What is that? FE, complainant. And this one, oh, offender, must be offender, OF, burglary, murder. All these are mentioned on, whoa. 11/13. Oh, charged with the murder of on 11/13. Okay, I get it. Hundred Lancer, Washington vehicle, Land Rover, maybe Range Rover, Idaho vehicle, Honda Civic Arizona vehicle. Chevy Cruiser must be Idaho vehicle. Jeep Wrangler, Washington vehicle. Ford Explorer. See, so black. So you see that right here? A black Ford Explorer. You see that? So they even investigated the black Ford Explorer, the unconsciousness, Amazon tire repair kit, scissor jack. I mean, holy shit. Wow. DNA extracts, dig fingerprints, evidence, incident. So they had fingerprints, dig fingerprints, whatever that means. Let's look at this. It says fingerprints, and I'm trying to see what this letter is right here. It looks like an E or an F. Possible E, possible F. Could be Ethan. Hard drives taken. BK phone, BK hard drives, laptop. I mean, this has everything in here, people. 118 to 24, a Kohlberger interview, evidence incident. 118, M.A. Kohlberger, Michael Kohlberger interview on 118 to 24. Or Ma Kohlberger. And then here's Michael, either way, both on the 18th. Not sure what Dylan Mortensen Cellbrite means, but it's an evidence. Camera repair, trace material, dog impound form. Ooh, they even checked the dog impound. Instagrams. PayPal data, jail calls, YouTube data, 8/9 of 23. Whatever stinker is. ExxonMobil, USB, Chevron video, Harbor Freight DVD, Winco, HD Cafe. There's a cafe video out there. A mobile video, McDonald's video, a Hayden Walmart video, Nom Drive, Stinker video, Winco DVD, Sunset Mart Drives, multi videos, Pullman DMV, Inland Cell, Moscow Bagel. Oh God, Canon Press. That would be Doug Wilson's Canon Press. Hill Rental, Corner Club US. They got a lot of stuff. Indian Hills Drive video, Cat video, Pullman Walmart video, Target video. They have it all. Wow, Palouse property right here. Cactus Computer Identity video, Floyd. Oh, look at this. They do have Floyd's video. Look at all this. Oh, look at all the interviews. T something, R something, E something. Tip interviews, whatever that is. R, S, G, W, J, M, 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 or M, 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 W. Thumb drives. We can probably guess on some of this stuff. Oh, look at this. K-bar and a K-bar sharpener. Evidence. A blanket, a curtain, Vans shoes, Converse shoes. Wow. Phone swabs, scene photos. Everything is here, folks. Dark clothing, tailor knife, swab, dark boots, brown boots, phone data, clear glove, dark jackets, dark shirts, dark pants. Hyundai Elantra key, suspect clothes, trunk tools, flashlight, medical gloves, Arizona t-shirt, WSU t-shirt, Nike shoes, UA socks, UA shorts, UA boxers, a Target receipt for something. Interviews, pillows, bed frames, mattresses, blue blanket, comforter, nightstand, swabs, DNA cuttings, DNA extracts, DVD photos, a cassette, ECM cassette, dog hair, Marshall's receipts, hair strands, fire stick, animal hair, shower hair, drain hair, computer hair. Wow. Look at this shit. Beer can, beer can. Oh, this must be inside the house, I would think. Nail clip swabs. Yeah, this has got to be. Thumb drive, disposable camera, shoe prints, blood swabs, cigarette butts, someone's diary. That'd be interesting. More comforters, more hairs. Okay, I want to see what everybody is saying here. I don't want to lose touch with my people here. Yeah, and there is a Glock listed. I knew about that. I knew that Kohlberger had a Glock. Yep. There's pubic hairs. Okay, so I'm going to go to a different page here quick. Let's see. Okay, that just says, I'll just tell you what it says. On November 17th, 2022, I contacted Detective Neil Uhrig of the Post Falls Police Department for assistance in examining the laptops and iPad located in the residence at 1122 King Road. Detective Uhrig arrived at the Moscow Police Department and received the following evidence items: 1, 2, 3, 4 Apple laptops, 2 Dell laptops, and an Apple iPad. And that's page 27 for what I get. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, but that's what I'm getting. There's nothing there. I'll try it again. Scroll. It goes all the way down to, just it shows Detective Lawrence Maury. There's nothing there. I'll scroll down on this. Oh, on this one? Okay, scroll. Am I still sharing this one? Let me look at what I'm doing here. Yeah. Okay. There's just so much here. I mean, holy shit. Vaginal swab, oral swab, pubic hair right here, nail clippings. This has got to all be from the victims, I would think. Another vaginal swab, hand swabs, neck swabs, fingerprint lifts, steak knife. Wonder if that's the one that Hunter had or not. Evidence, I bet it is. Steak knife. Oh, and there's the knife sheath right there. There's the knife sheath. And it's listed as the next day on the 14th. That's a little weird. Look at how many blood swabs there is. Holy shit. Now, what is all of this? PRR. What the hell does that mean? Look at all the people listed here. Ashley Hensiek, Cloda Machlin. They didn't even redact this shit. Oh, wait a minute. This is from 7/7. This is from just recently. Who are these people? Kayleen Camacho. That was on the 2nd of June. Huh. These must be the people that are helping with investigation, maybe, or something. I'm not getting what all these people are. Justin Rodriguez. Wow. There's a lot here, and it's going to take a lot to figure this shit out. I don't know what they mean by not 100 empty. Get everyone's names. This is when they arrived. It sounds like, 12:05. This is when they're arriving at the scene. Offense, general narrative outline. Offense, homicide. Synopsis, Kaylee J. Gonzalez, Ethan J. Chapin, Zana A. Kernodle, and Madison M. Morgan were found deceased inside 1122 King Road. Not available. Not Watts guard event. Yes, so there's going to be a guard. That we know. Additional responding officers, BWC Snyder, Warner, Nunez, Smith, Morris, and Rosinski. Narrative: at approximately 11:56 hours, MBT officers responded to an unconscious call. The RP later identified the RP later identified as BF, must be Bethany Funk, reported her roommate was passed out, not conscious and not breathing. I always thought that was Dylan on the phone, but whatever. As I was preparing to leave the station, Officer Nunez, who was already on scene, advised of a likely homicide and asked for additional units. While I was en route, Officer Nunez advised he had located 2 additional victims. The victims were later identified as Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, Zana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan. Moscow EMS was asked to stage and not respond to the scene unless requested. Upon arrival, I saw Hunter Johnson crouching near the entrance to 1122 Road, was in obvious emotional distress. I entered through the first floor door, which faces north towards the parking lot. I announced myself as a Moscow police officer and heard Officers Nunez and Warner respond from upstairs. When I got to the second floor, I saw a female covered in blood in the bedroom on the northwest side of the second floor. I believe this female to be Zana. I looked inside the bedroom. Zana was laying, and it was obvious an intense struggle had occurred. Zana was obviously deceased. There was blood smeared on various items in the room and all over the floor. There was blood cast off on the walls in various places, including above Zana's body. Zana was on her back on the floor in the center of the room with her head towards the west. Zana was in her underwear and... Wait a minute here. Oh, wait a minute. There was blood cast off on the walls in various places, including above Zana's body. Zana was on her back on the floor in the center of the room with her head towards the west. Zana was in her underwear and a long-sleeved gray shirt. Both her shirt and underwear were covered in blood. Zana's face and body was covered in dried blood. I could see what appeared to be defensive knife wounds on Zana's hands. There was a deep gash on Zana's left hand between her pointer finger and thumb. A partially covered male was on the bed and also obviously deceased. I believe this male to be Ethan. The midsection of Ethan's body was covered with a blanket. Ethan's head wasn't visible and appeared to be between the bed and the south wall. There was some blood cast off and what appeared to be arterial blood spray above where Ethan's head was located. I proceeded upstairs to the third floor where I met Officer Nunez and Warner. I proceeded upstairs to the third floor where I met Officer Nunez and Warner. Officers Nunez and Warner advised the residence was clear of any additional people. There was a dog belonging to Kaylee in the third floor west bedroom, which has access to a third floor deck. The deck has no exterior access to the ground level. I asked Corporal Snyder to cordon off the area and Officers Nunez to start identifying the subjects that were on the scene when he arrived. I asked Officer Warner to start a crime scene log at the front entrance. Once Officer Smith arrived on scene, I asked him to stand guard at the kitchen sliding door, which I later learned was ajar upon our arrival. On the third floor, I went to the southeast bedroom where Officer Nunez and Warner advised they found 2 females whom I believe to be Kaylee and Madison. Both females were obviously deceased. I observed Kaylee lying on the north side of the bed and Madison lying on the south side of the bed with their heads towards the east. Kaylee and Madison were covered by a pink blanket, which was covered in blood. There was a large pool of blood near Kaylee's midsection. There was blood cast off on the east and north walls above Kaylee and Madison. Madison appeared to be lying up against Kaylee. Madison had what appeared to be wounds to her forearm and hands. Madison had a gash under her right eye, which appeared to go from the corner of her eye to her nose. Kaylee was unrecognizable as her facial structure was extremely damaged. I asked Officer Nunez to close the door to the bedroom so the dog did not try to disturb the scene. Other than that action, MPD patrol officers left the scene as it was found. I was later confirmed with Officer Nunez that no EMS personnel entered prior to my arrival. I contacted Captain Barrett or whatever and advised him of the situation. Captain Barrett said he would activate detectives and get more resources en route. Once Detective Sergeant Lawrence arrived on scene, he requested one of the responding patrol officers begin writing a search warrant, which was assigned to Officer Nunez. Corporal Snyder was assigned to take initial photos of the scene, while Officer Smith and Warner remained as security at both entrances. I collected the dog from the third floor and took it outside. Olson transported the dog to the Humane Society on my behalf. Officer Nunez was interviewing a large group of individuals which were associated with the residents. Officer Nunez asked that I finish getting contact information for the individuals. I contacted and later added the following names to this call: BF, DM, HJ, HC, that'd be Hunter Chapin, JD, Jack Decor, and JM. Not sure who that is. Can't think right now. One of those individuals' names were collected. Once those individuals' names were collected, they responded to the MPD to be interviewed by detectives. I assisted with the canvass of the area and was assigned the southernmost apartments at the Queen Road, at blank Queen Road. So again, I'm thinking that this is 1126. I contacted the residents following apartments whom claimed they didn't hear anything. And then there's a big, long redaction. And blank. I attempted contact at the following apartments with no response, blank and blank. There is no apartment, blank or blank, whatever that is. I remained associated with the call and assisted with scene security until approximately 1800 hours. Other information, photos attached. Case status. Let me look here. And then the whole, under the perjury kind of shit and signed. That's rugged reading that shit, man. It's fucking totally rugged reading that stuff. Yeah, Zana was in her underwear. I don't know, people. I'm just totally, this case has just fucking wiped me out, man. It's wiped me out. Well, I think, tell you the truth, we don't know how we would act being as young as they are. 21, I was young and stupid. And if they were really fucked up or if they were doing like some kind of drugs, they wouldn't want to call the police. They'd wait until the last minute to call the police. I mean, that's the way, that's what would have happened here. I can tell you that if the police were ever called. So I'm not gonna hold that against them anymore. I really am not. Um, because we don't know how we would act. We don't know the situation. We don't know how much they believe that that person with the dark mask was somebody they didn't know, like a frat just messing around because they were always pulling pranks on people. Um, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Yeah, I think cryptic that I think if they could do things over, I bet they would. I bet they would, and I would bet my life on it. I'm sure they feel bad enough. Um, I'm going to be digging into this. Me and my investigators. I'm probably going to need more than one of my investigators to go over some of this stuff and sort stuff out. And we didn't have a lot of time here today to get things sorted out. And no doubt, Shelley, you think so? But that ain't going to happen. Not after I've been smoking for what, 52 years? Pretty hard. I know musical shrubs, and I bet you they feel pretty fucking bad. I think some of those tears and crying that Dylan did wasn't just because her friends were deceased, but because she didn't call. She didn't call 911. And I feel really fucking guilty. And I'm sure she has enough guilt thrown at her that we don't need to throw anymore. And I don't think any channels should really fucking say anything about them because they don't know what they would have done at 21 years old, drunk, maybe high as hell. Yeah, so did I, Moon. But it sounds like it was all lower. It wasn't like it was all over the walls. It sounds like it was mostly on the bodies and on the floor with some on the lower parts of the wall. Well, the way I took it, Jethro, was that he held their mouths like this. So he's like that, and he's like this. So there might not have been screams like everybody thought. Maddie was passed out. All it would have taken was one. Think about it. One blast to the heart, and she's done. Or to the head, wherever. I'm sure he knew what he was doing with what he had to do to make them deceased. I'd like to know who took that picture. I would like to know that. Yeah, there was one. I'm sure there was one scream. But again, you're talking about a house that had screams all the time, partying and whatever. Dylan has a lot of guilt, I'm sure, yes. Anyway, I think I'm gonna stop here for now. God, it's 7:30 already, and I've gone for 3 hours. I think I'm gonna close it down, and I know the investigators will be looking into these documents. And all that, so yeah. I love you guys, and just because my mind has flipped here a little bit doesn't mean I don't love you all. And until next time, rock and roll.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, taunts and snares, I have already come. Disgrace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me
planted seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sounds of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night, it touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs and voices never shared, so no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Wolf they are, you do not know. Silence like the cancer grows. Hear my words and I might teach you. Take my arms and I might reach you. And my words, dying like angels fell. They echoed in the well of silence, and the people bowed and prayed. Through the neon sky they prayed, and the light flashed out to be morning. In the words that it was spoken, and the signs and the words of the prophet never subway walls and tenement halls, whispered in the sound of silence.
Black crow in the night, shadows dance on the ground. Whispers of the cold wind, they sing stories of grief. Red eyes stare from the top of the abyss. Black wings of silence, they tell stories never seen before. Fly high, dark crow, take the pain from this place. In your feathers all the weights of endless secrets. The eternal cry of the dead, echoes of despair. shivers on the weight of endless secrets. There